Rents in Canada dropped again in November, falling to their lowest level in 15 months. Rentals.ca has just released our rent report for November, and the average asking rent for all property types in Canada fell to $2,139, a 0.6% decrease from the month before. This is now the lowest average rent Canada has seen since August of 2023. Now, if it feels like rents haven't decreased very much, well, that's because in most of Canada, they haven't. Nationwide, the average decrease is only 1.6% since November of last year, or 2.9% since the peak price in May. As you can see, this is really just a small drop after a year of stagnant prices. This probably doesn't seem like a major change because rents have been on a bit of a roller coaster ride for the past few years. After prices hit a low point in early 2021, there was a 2.5-year period where rents were increasing at a rate of 11.4% per year before stalling at the end of 2023. But if we look at the last 5 years as a whole, the average annual increase has been about 3.35%. So the decrease we're seeing now isn't exactly a major drop in rents, it's more like a correction back to the long-term trend. But obviously, national averages don't tell the whole story. Much of the year-over-year drop is concentrated in Toronto and Vancouver, where rents were down 9.4% and 8.9% respectively. While most of the rent decreases were seen in Ontario and BC, we also saw a decrease of 5.8% in Calgary. However, outside of Calgary, we saw increases across the prairies, with rents up in Edmonton and Winnipeg, but particularly Saskatoon, where rents were up 17.8% year over year. Rents were also generally up across the Maritimes, with rent in Halifax increasing by 5.6%. Now, if you're wondering why your city wasn't listed here, it's because I can't do every single city in Canada in every single video. There's no time. But if you do want to know something about your city, put it in the comments and maybe I can make a video about it for you. Anyway, if we look at the data from the past 2 years, we can see that while rents in Toronto and Vancouver have dropped by hundreds of dollars from the peak last year, cities like Edmonton, Montreal, and Ottawa are still near all-time highs. So you may be wondering, what's driving the decreases in rent in those cities? Well, according to this story from Stories, based on data from Urban Nation, the GTA has a historically high level of condo supply, with 40,000 units either without buyers or listed for sale. In BC, data from Greater Vancouver Realtors shows that the sales to listings ratio for apartment housing has fallen to a 10-year low. That means that there's more units listed for sale, but fewer sales happening. So it's quite possible that people who can't get the price they want for these condo units are deciding to rent them out instead, and the additional supply on the rental market is driving down rents. Meanwhile, in Calgary, the CMHC reports that we're seeing a massive surge in purpose-built rental housing completions, which are helping to alleviate the supply shortages that the city has seen in recent years. If you want the full details, check out the rental report over at Rentals.ca. Or if you don't want to read it yourself, ask us a question in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer it for you.